Welcome to This Day and Everything Cool for April 28th. Cue up a copy of The Wizard of Oz, because on this day in 1973, the iconic album The Dark Side of the Moon from British rock band Pink Floyd reached #1 on the US charts, starting a record-breaking 741-week run. The album, released a month earlier, was their 8th studio recording and perfected the concepts the band had explored with their previous work, being a sort of blend between heady experimental music and more mainstream rock and roll. The album didn't leave the charts until 1988, and by that time it had sold more than 45 million copies, easily making it one of the biggest and most influential albums of all time. There's also an interesting conspiracy surrounding The Dark Side of the Moon. Some fans allege that if you start the album at the beginning of the 1939 movie The Wizard of Oz, the music syncs perfectly with the film. Not everyone agrees, and the members of Pink Floyd have never positively confirmed or denied if this is the case. And if you like listening to music, on April 28, 2003, Apple started making it a lot easier. That's when they launched the iTunes Music Store, one of the first legal ways to buy and download music on the internet. Illegal downloads of music had been prevalent since the 1990s, but Apple and other companies realized that most people weren't pirating to save money, it was the convenience they were after. And if you offered a legal way to do it, most people would take it. They were right. The iTunes Store quickly grew in popularity, and by 2008 it became the largest music vendor in the United States. Other companies have since created their own online music stores, and today you can buy pretty much everything online. On this day, game maker Hudson Soft released no less than 3 classic titles across 3 consecutive years. On April 28, 1993, they released Super Bomberman on the Super Nintendo, and then exactly a year later, they launched Super Bomberman 2 on April 28, 1994. And a year after that, Super Bomberman 3 launched on April 28, 1995. These were the first games in the series released on the Super Nintendo and offered the same basic top-down gameplay, but with much better graphics and audio, and new multiplayer support for up to 4 players. All 3 were a success, and the Bomberman series has seen countless follow-ups. Sadly, it eventually declined in popularity, and Bomberman and other games that didn't sell forced Hudson Soft to shut down in 2012. The company and the rights to the Bomberman franchise were bought by Konami, who released an all-new game on the Nintendo Switch in 2017.